Today I want to bring you guys a special episode of what I'm doing right now. This is a currently caught up in Holly's life situation. As you guys know, Corona is plaguing the lands, and I have not yet left for the Pacific because it's basically completely shut down. All the islands are closed. You're not allowed to go into any of them anymore. The best case scenario would be that you show up and they give you food and water to your boat. You're not allowed to touch land, and then you have to leave again. So I am currently hanging out in the Perlas Islands in Panama, just sort of biding my time, eating through all my provisions, and trying to see what's going to happen next. So here is some of what I've been doing the past week or two.
I got this umbrella.
Nice! Contadora Island is one of the big ones in the Perlas Islands and a place that a lot of boats are hanging out. I've made a new friend who's also single-handing around the world, and today we are going fishing.
So, I'm Jarne. I left August 11th of 2019 in Belgium with my sailboat. It's a Spirit 32.
This is Jarne's boat. Yeah, I mean, it's not as nice as my boat, and I try to tell him it's okay. We can still be friends, even though it's not as cool as my boat. I don't know how much of that's sinking in his little brain, but it's not a bad boat.
I always say, as long as it's faster, it's better.
I mean, mine's just better. Fast doesn't have anything to do with this race. It's all about who looks the most fly.
It's Belgian made and Dutch design, so can be better, from 77. I bought it 5 years ago, 2015, yes. And I had a lot of work on it. Sailed it from Belgium to I had some solo bits, some bits that I took friends, and sailed it to Cape Verde. From there I took a friend across the ocean, and then did the Caribbean with a lot of friends. From Curacao I was on my own again, and I decided to postpone my friends for a bit and then go single-handing across the Pacific. That's the plan. And then I met Holly, who's got the same plan, and eventually it's gonna be going solo around the world. That's the goal, so let's see where we get.
Just behind the big anchorage where all the boats are is a little rocky shoal area where you can do some pretty cool wildlife spotting. We saw an awesome giant stingray and a bunch of reef fish. I was finally able to get my spear gun back out after a lot of time not being used. I didn't have very high hopes for catching anything since it's been months and months since I fished last, but I eventually did manage to hook a pretty giant triggerfish, and since ciguatera isn't a problem in this side of Panama, we were able to eat it. After I got my fish, we took to trawling. I drove Jarne's little Zodiac while he fished for something, and we ended up catching another fish that was also a triggerfish. Neither one of us had eaten or prepared triggerfish before, but I have heard that they're really tasty eating, so we kept both of them. And it turns out that they have impenetrably tough dragon-like skin. So not only are they really hard to kill, but they're also really hard to prepare. And what we ended up doing was just baking them whole in the oven. And once they're baked, the skin kind of comes off a little bit more easily. So all in all, we ate fish for a couple days. We made it in basically every sort of form imaginable, and it was super delicious. It's sunrise, and a group of us are sailing to a little deserted island that's about 15 miles south of here. We're trying to leave at first light because of the tide, because it turns at around 10:30 and it can get up to 2 knots against you. So early morning, it's deep since we're leaving at high tide, 51 feet. That'll be the most I've ever held up at the anchor, and I'm not looking forward to it. It's gonna suck. It's another gorgeous sunrise. Leaving this island where we're not allowed to go ashore and heading towards one of the deserted islands where we were told we are allowed to go ashore. We haven't been ashore for over a week now, so it's going to be really exciting to be able to actually walk on the beautiful beaches that we see. I am disgusting and covered in sweat. I just upped an anchor by hand in 50 feet of water and my forearm muscles almost gave out. That is crazy shit. I don't think I could have done it in 55 feet even, until I get stronger, and then I'll be golden. So Pacific, here we come. As someone mentioned the other day, this is our first Pacific island, and we're about to go to our second one. Not quite what we had imagined of the Pacific, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. I think the best kind of social distancing is when two solo sailors go for a sail, each in their own boat. We are keeping a nice space between us. No worries here. To the next anchorage, and it's gorgeous here. There are actually a bunch of boats, I guess, since everyone's trying to get away from mainland Panama. It's going to be hard to find a remote anchorage in the Perlas, but it also feels good because safety in numbers. So Yarna and I are going to go ashore. We have a frisbee, we have some paddle things that you hit a ball with. I forget what they're called. And this is the beautiful shore area. It's getting to be high tide, so the beach is kind of gone, but there is a little bit of beach left, and it'll be the first time I've been ashore in over a week, because you're not allowed to go on land in the populated areas. But since no one lives on this island and no one goes to this island, it's okay to go ashore here. We asked the naval guys who were at our anchorage before, and they said, yeah, sure, if it's deserted, go ahead. It's nice to know that we won't be hurting anyone or spreading any sicknesses, although we have all been quarantined for quite a long time, so I think it's fine. Beach day! So I found some shoes washed up on the beach, a matching set, so that we can go exploring on the paths in the jungle, and I don't get my feet messed up by prickles.
Oh fuck.
Beaches. Okay. We're gonna have a beach day and do some exploring. There's a path that we found that goes through the jungle to a secret beach on the other side of the island. It's only accessible by boat and path. And like if you had a seaplane, maybe you could get there too.
Holly, I cannot throw this thingy! Help! Help!
The tides here are pretty crazy, so we made sure to pull the dinghy nice and far up the beach.
Yes, indeed. We never saw it so low, no? Holly's favorite activity, tide pools at low water.
Tiny tiny baby lobster. This beach is cool but really tiny, so we're gonna swim to that beach over there with the frisbee and play some disc. Are you hanging that on a spike? That's awesome. So we're gonna leave the bag here on this spike and just swim over with the disc so we don't get everything else wet. The water in the Pacific feels amazing. It's not too warm, but it's not too cold either. Just the perfect amount of refreshing. Did something bite you? What is it? Are you serious? Yeah. This is why you always go swimming with someone who looks more delicious than you, so that if something decides to eat one of you, it's not you who gets eaten. We made it! This is a great place to hang out during Corona because it's deserted, so you're allowed to go ashore here, which is not allowed pretty much anywhere else in the world right now if you're a sailor. That's why I've been here for so long. This is crazy beautiful. I feel so lucky to be able to be here during a time when a lot of the world is stuck inside in their houses. A lot of the cruising population is stuck on their boats. If I was anywhere else in Panama that wasn't a deserted island, I would also be stuck on my boat. So the fact that we have this crazy beauty is amazing. Yeah, the ball paddle game turned out to be a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be, but it was still a lot of fun. It wasn't fun. I hate being bad at stuff. The best feeling in the world is ending the day a little burned by the sun, a little salty, and a lot tired. It was one of the best days I've had in a really long time. Time to go home. I need pizza. Good thing we pulled the dinghy up so high. So before we left to go to the beach, I made some dough for pizza. So I'm gonna check out and see what it looks like now that it's been sitting in the sun. Yeah, looks good. Time to make it into dough. I just wanted to learn how to spin this like the professional pizza spinners. Whew. Kind of works. Here's the crust. It's gonna be a weird pizza because we don't obviously have a ton of fresh ingredients since I think we provisioned over 2 weeks ago now. So it's gonna be tomato, garlic, onion, and Yarna puts tuna on his pizza, which I've never done, but it sounds delicious, so we're gonna do that too. And then bake some potatoes in the oven and have them with some garlic butter. And it's oven time! The potatoes are already in, baking underneath. Yum! I just burned my finger. It might be ready. Happy sailors indeed. While in the anchorage of Espiritu Santo, I met a couple other boats. One of them I met in La Playita, a boat full of 3 young German friends heading into the South Pacific, and another boat, Limelight, who has graciously given me a bunch of this footage from our beach barbecue where we caught a bunch of fish and grilled them up on the beach. It was just nice to meet a bunch of really mellowed out people and have some chill times together. The second to arrive to the barbecue scene were my friends from Germany on their catch SV Anita. They had set a net the night before and caught about 10 fish that they were bringing to the driftwood fire. That's hard to say.
Sekunde wirklich 100%ig sein.
Okay.
Zack. Wie heißt er? Das war. Das war? Das war Fred.
Das war Fred.
Fred.
Danke Fred für dein Leben. And fashionably late with a jug of rum punch came yours truly. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna wrestle you. But I did bring another thing. Pretty soon we had all the fish wrapped in tinfoil and happily cooking on the fire. There's nothing like eating fire-cooked fish with your fingers sitting on a log on the beach, because that's what you tell yourself when you forget to bring utensils. With all the craziness and quarantines going on in the world, it's safe to say that we all felt super lucky that we were able to have such an amazing evening as this on such a beautiful beach. Today I'm making soft pretzels. I've never made them before, but I think I know what I'm supposed to do. So you make the pretzels, you let them rise, and then I think you put baking soda, I'm not sure, into some boiling water. And then I don't know how much, so we're just gonna do a bunch. Whoa! Okay. And now we put the pretzels into the water. I don't know for how long, so I'm just going to say 2 minutes or until they look like they need to be rescued. Here's pretzel.
And do they go in the oven afterwards as well?
Yeah. Yeah, then you bake them. I should probably warm them.
Whoop whoop!
Motherfucking pretzels. We just got water from our friend's boat, Anita, to fill our tanks. They let us fill right from their water maker. In exchange, we gave them wine, so technically they made water into wine. Pretty cool. It's time to go. It's sad. I don't want to leave. But we need to go back to the land of internet to check on the world and see what's happening. Crazy beautiful morning, no wind, so I have to motor. Really neat fog also, I haven't seen this yet in Panama. I thought the fog would burn off as the sun is rising, but it's actually kind of sticking around and making for a super beautiful morning. Even though I'm not a giant fan of motoring, I do have some current with me, and it's so beautiful that I'm giving it a pass this time. Back in Contadora Anchorage, and there are way fewer boats here this time than there were last time. It was good to be back and to see some old friends, and excitingly, in these corona times, we are playing a trivia game on channel 68. Our friends on Grace, that's not them, they're over there, are putting on the trivia game. Everyone tunes into the channel and they ask us rapid fire trivia questions.
Team Rocket
Rocket
got it all in their pocket.
In the house. We're gonna win because we're gonna cheat.
Because winning is more important than participating.
Because winning is more important than not cheating. And so yeah, we're making dinner. and we're gonna have some wine probably. So I have many much boxes. Buckets.
Throw your bucket.
Oh, okay. And we're gonna cheat at some trivia, and this is what our life is like now. It's great.
Contadora Yachts, Contadora Yachts, Contadora Yachts. This is Grace, and we are ready to kick off with the second Contadora Yacht to Yacht quiz. Who wants to be in the quiz this evening? Come now. Carried over.
There's the Saga.
Gecko.
Dropping Isle. There. English Sally.
This is a special note for Dave and Helen or anyone else from the trivia game in Contadora watching this video. No cheating occurred on my boat. It was a joke. We lost fair and square.
Evening, quiz chums. Hope you're all ready, and we're gonna rock and roll.
On the Google search page logo, what colour is the L of Google?
Oh, motherfucker.
What? On the what?
What color is the L in Google?
Blue or red?
Let's go blue.
Question 40.
Yeah, I was blue. How do you
Minus 40 degrees centigrade is equivalent to what in Fahrenheit? Minus 40 centigrade
I think
is equivalent to what in Fahrenheit?
I think it's where they overlap. Okay, I had to show you one answer that we got right. I would say we fell very solidly in the middle of the bottom of the packet, if that's the thing. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this snippet video of what I'm doing right now in the Perlas Islands. I haven't left for the Pacific yet because basically all of those islands are shut down and they're asking sailors to not go because they're barely able to keep up with the needs of their own people without sailors coming and, you know, eating their food and using their hospitals if need be. So I don't really want to be in Panama either, but it kind of seems for the time being like this is the best place. I can move about freely in the Perlas Islands and go swimming, and the boats that are arriving in the Pacific are being quarantined for 2 weeks. You're not even allowed to jump in the water off your boat. So you're basically sitting on your boat, not able to do anything for 2 weeks. And a boat's a very small space to be doing that. It's different. When you're at sea, you feel like you have the whole world at your fingertips, but being on anchor looking at the shore and not even being able to go in the water sounds pretty rough. So I'm just happy that I'm here. I have some amazing friends. There's a great community of sailors. We're all trying to make the best of this weird situation. Basically, no country wants sailors right now, so we're kind of forming our own little floating community. I've provisioned for 2 or 3 months at sea, so I have food that'll last me through April at the very least, into May, and then who knows, things change so quickly every day that you can't really plan beyond tomorrow here. So as long as I'm staying happy and not hurting anyone, that's kind of the most that I can ask of the situation. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more of what I'm doing and more up-to-date updates, I do have an Instagram account. It's @BoatLizard, and I post stories and photos to there of what I'm doing in the Perlas Islands. I'm in and out of cell connection right now because only 1 or 2 of the islands here have it. But when I am in range, I do a lot of posting. I also have a Patreon account, patreon.com/windhippie. Thank you so much to all of my patrons who are supporting me and making this possible. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, that would be super cool. But I understand that many of you don't have jobs right now, so obviously no pressure. I hope you enjoy these videos brought to you ad-free by me. I've made the decision a while ago to not put ads on my YouTube account because I hate those things when they come up, and I don't want corporate brainwashing to filter into your lives through watching a sailing channel about not any of that stuff and freedom. So this is the one ad you're gonna see. It's just me saying I have a Patreon. No pressure to join it if you don't want to. I make these because I hope to share some of my happiness and adventure with you guys, and that is all I'm gonna say about that. Thank you, Tish, for uploading these videos for me to YouTube. I edit them here on my boat and upload them to Dropbox when I have a strong enough connection, and then she puts them on YouTube for me on Mondays so that it makes my Mondays less stressful and it makes me less bound to a schedule. Thank you, SY Limelight, for the lovely drone footage and beach footage that you gave me and let me use in this video. You guys should check them out. They're a German couple who's been sailing for ever, and they have a pretty cool YouTube channel as well. I'll put a link in the description below this video for you to click on so you can give them a peek and see what other cruisers are doing in Panama at the same time as me. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being kind to each other. One of the things I love so much about this time is just seeing how the world is coming together to help each other out. It's really beautiful. And I think our true colors show in times of hardship, and it's giving me a lot of hope for humanity because some really nice stuff is coming out of it. So I hope you guys continue to be kind to each other, and hopefully this video brings you some sunshine and light into your day, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks.